20 years ago, them icks were just running wild.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's a no from me. If you could have one of those trap doors that just like opened up and they
Oh yeah.
disappeared,
Oh my God, that would be so amazing. God,
wouldn't
there'd be
it?
no one on the planet. I oh, I've got anxious energy in my body.
Why?
Don't know. I think I need to run.
Mm.
I think I need to run. Walk quickly.
Jog.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, yes. Whilst the internet is playing, whilst we are alive and well, let's get episode 51 on the road. So, welcome to It's All Frolics. I'm going to start that again.
Good, because I needed a cough.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'm so
Where's the
glad
Bailey's?
your energy is matching mine. Mine is on the fucking floor this morning. I am scraping
Oh,
myself
mate,
up.
I went to bed at 12:30. It might have been later than that, going to 1, because the girls would not settle and we just had a full day. And then I woke up at 4:30, could not go back to sleep. So I've been up. Yes,
No.
but it's cool. It's cool. We're good.
Do you know, the worst thing is
Oh,
I know exactly how that feels, and it is
yeah.
TRASH.
I know. If ever okay, no, because you know I love a spiral.
Let's go on the vibrant.
Yeah. Where's the drugs when you need them?
We do not
Oh
need that
God,
show.
no,
That
we
would
really don't. Could you imagine?
there'd be no show. It would literally just be a stream of consciousness, which is us anyway. So
Anyway. Oh my God. No, you would be going and I'd be eating.
oh my God.
Okay. We're good. Welcome everyone. This is It's All Frolics. It's episode 51. I am Monique B. She is Amy G.
All
Welcome
green.
back. All green, I know, with the eyeshadow to match. Cute jewelry, looking very well put together, as always.
Thrown together.
Well, you caught it. You look great, doll. Okay, what am I saying? This is episode 51. I said it already. The things, if you have been here before, thank you for coming back. I hope you've hit subscribed. You may as well. If you have pressed play for the first time, welcome. We hope you'll come back again. I'm just going to tell you to do all the things before I forget, because my memory is a sieve. Do it for self. Subscribe. I've told you that, but I'm going to tell you again because it is very important. Engage. Let us know how you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you thought of the episode, or anything at all. What's after E? Like. This is a clear indication of how this episode's about to go. Hit the like button. And to finish up, follow and forward to a friend, because sharing is caring. Right. This episode, we're kind of talking all things love, I guess, which is, oh gosh, one of our favorite subjects. But to get the ball rolling, I have it's a brief game because it's not finished. So I'm going to I'm going to give you what I've got so far.
Cool.
Right. So I'm going to give you some clues to some famous or well-known couples. Some of these
Ooh.
are real life couples. Some of these are on screen couples.
Okay.
Because and some of them are, on screen or real life. Because they're kind of all over the place, I'll give you a clue as to whether they're like TV
Screen
or
or real life.
film, music, just to kind of bring in the net a bit because we could be here all day with this. So this first one is, I'll just say animation. Here is the clue. This couple was never going to work because she had both feet on the ground and he refused to grow up.
Ooh, that's got to be Peter Pan and Wendy.
Very good. Very good. Ding, ding. I was like, I can't say Disney because I've just given you the answer, but that was well done. Well done. Okay, so real life couple. He wrote the blueprint whilst she sat and drank lemonade.
Okay. Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Very good. J and B. Easy peasy. Okay, here's the next one. In their world, dinosaurs and lobsters are friends.
No idea.
One more time.
In their world, dinosaurs and lobsters are friends.
Ross and Rachel.
Oh, that was a good one. That is
Yeah.
cute. That is cute. Well done.
She's a lobster. Okay. All right, so this is a real life couple. Although they've not confirmed it, word on the street is that they are together. So she is an iconic actress who can just go by her first name. I did struggle with this because I don't really know too much about him, but he in a movie plays a really weird wedding planner.
Oh, is this Meryl Streep and that funny guy? I don't know what his name. No, I don't know what it's something
No?
short. Something short.
Yes. Yeah. Martin Short. Meryl Streep.
Martin Short. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I literally had to go on IMDb and see like what else he was in that I could like bring up. But apart from Only Murders in the Building, Only Murderers in the Building, which I don't think you're watching,
No,
which
no,
you
no, no.
should because it's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything else. He's done like loads of voiceover work.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I really know him for is because he's a voiceover. He does a voiceover in one of my favorite non-Disney? No, Prince
There's a
of
lot of
Egypt. Yeah,
really?
him and the other Martin, Steve Martin,
Yeah.
they play like the oh they're like the messengers of the gods. And they sing this song, You're Playing with the Big Boys Now. It's my absolute
Oh, it's
favorite.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. I've not watched that movie in an age.
Oh, I
Oh,
love it.
okay.
I love all of the songs, and I just love all of the songs and all of the because I'm not very religious, but it's the one thing that I will watch over and over and over and over again.
Cute. Right. I only have one left because again, incomplete into a homework. So, oh no, actually I've got two. So this is TV.
Okay. As in
Here
a
is
TV
the
couple,
as
a couple
in
on
yes, TV
TV.
couple.
Okay,
TV
okay.
couple. So when the town nice guy finally got with the bitchy town slag, he was over the moon. This is deep cut TV. When the town nice guy finally got with the bitchy town slag, he was over the moon. If
No
I
idea.
said soaps,
Oh, the town nice guy. I'm assuming it's an EastEnders couple because of.
there we go.
I'm now getting the slag
There we go.
and the moon. Is that? Oh, what is his name? Something Moon. Is his
What
name
was her
something
name?
Moon?
It is something
Cat
moon.
Slater.
There we go.
So who's the guy?
Alfie Moon.
Well, that was a
Alfie
dial
Moon,
back. I could not
wasn't
even
it?
remember what was going on in
Listen,
EastEnders.
I think that's the last time that I watched because who is on there now? I could not tell you. Although I think the last time I saw a glimpse of it, everybody was back. So I guess they're really like
Needed
struggling
their
for storylines
paycheck.
and whatnot. Yeah, basically. Okay, this is the actual last one. So she really loves sandwiches and he loves quartz.
He loves
And
what?
quartz and citrine and amethyst.
And what kind of couple is this?
Movie couple.
A movie couple.
She really loves sandwiches and he really loves quartz and citrine and amethyst.
No.
So what are citrine and amethysts and quartz? They are a type of
Crystal.
crystal. That's as far as I can go with the clues.
And she really likes sandwiches?
If you're watching her, you'd think she really loves sandwiches. This clue was not going in at all.
I'm stuck. Sorry.
Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, When Harry Met Sally.
Oh. I thought she had a salad.
When they in the sandwich shop? You know, I've seen that movie like twice years ago. So maybe it was a salad. In my mind, it was a sandwich. Are you Googling right now?
Yeah.
Come on, fact check me.
Oh, no, you're right. It was a turkey club sandwich.
All right.
In Cat's Deli in New York City.
To be precise.
Yeah. Specifically, it's a pastrami sandwich.
They do love some cold meats over there.
They do. Have you ever had a salt beef sandwich?
I have. Like
What's that like?
The salt beef sandwich from, my God, is it Brick Lane? There's like this really well-known, is it a bagel place, I think?
Yeah.
It is awesome. They do not skimp. Yeah, it is banging. I think there were two bagel shops pretty much on the same side of the street, but I think one of them's closed down now though. And I think that happened recently, maybe this year or last year. I don't know which one I went to, but yeah. It's the first time that I'd ever had it. It was Rick that was just like, you got to try this.
Ah, okay.
So, shout out to you, Rick. Oh, it's one of those things that you have and then like randomly you'll just think about like, oh yeah, that was good. If you're like a hungry belly like me that loves a good munch, every now and then it's just like, that was a good sandwich. Fuck, maybe I'm Meg.
Funny.
Okay. And that brings us to the end of whatever that was.
Do you know, isn't it difficult to try and think of clues that don't automatically give stuff away? So you need to be vague enough, but not too vague.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Because
thought
there
you
was
did
some
really
that
well
was just
there.
like, I don't know. I couldn't think of any other type of crystals, which is terrible considering how much I love crystals. And even that was just like,
No,
anyway.
I did get the crystal link, but I was just like, I couldn't think of, yeah.
Yeah.
of what that relevance had to the thing. So yeah, my bad. Sorry.
No, that was good. That was good. All right. How are you feeling?
Uh
Is that loaded? That's actually a loaded question today. Should we just say fine? Knowing full
yeah.
well that fine does not mean fine. But we're going to smile through anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's.
All right, let's move on in to the deep dive. Kaploosh. Right, this week's deep dive question is: what do you think about love at first sight and the idea of soulmates? All very
I know.
ethereal, very lovey-dovey, or maybe not. Maybe just like boo to it all. It's all trash. Depending where you are in life right now.
I mean, it's hard. You can't really debunk something that you've never experienced, right? So
The right person will do it.
yeah, they'll try at least. I I don't know. I'm sure that there are people out there that believe in love at first sight. I personally have never experienced it. I've experienced lust at first sight.
Yeah,
Never mistaken it for love because for me, love is a much deeper connection. And for me,
absolutely.
that is built over time.
Yeah.
Um, but not to say that you can't fall in love quickly, because case in point, I think mine was 8 weeks.
It's a very Aryan trait, I will say, but
We
yeah,
fall fast, we fall deep,
hard. Absolutely.
and we can also fall out fast and deep.
I know. So toxic.
I know.
I think, whoever came up with the line, there's a thin line between love and hate, was definitely talking about Aries kings and queens, because
Yeah,
we're
they
in
were
it and
probably
then we're
Aries.
over it.
I know. I really have to tread my ick trail very, very carefully, because
Just like
if I
rationalize it.
if I
Like,
step on the
he's
road, it's
only
like a
human. He's only
yeah.
human.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of deep breaths going on over here. Like, because I know myself, so I'm just like, unrealistic expectations. You know?
And that's the beauty of self-awareness, because like 20 years ago, them icks were just running wild.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a no from me. If you could have one of those trap doors that just like opened up and they
Oh yeah.
disappeared,
Oh my God, that would be so amazing. God,
wouldn't
there'd
it?
be no one on the planet. I I agree with you though. I don't think it's really love at first sight. Definitely infatuation. Um, I mean, in thinking about this, I did a few Googles actually, and scientifically, what's happening, it's a chemical reaction, right? So
Mm,
it's like, I think what I saw was that it's our prefrontal cortex that makes like all the quick snap decisions. And love at first sight is where that takes place as well. But then that's coupled with that chemical reaction of that huge surge of dopamine. That's like the feel good, like, cute, cute, cute. And then the oxytocin as well, which is like the horny hormone. So it's just like, ooh, cute, cute, cute. What are you doing later, you know? So it's just like, is it really lust at first, not lust, well, it is lust at first sight,
yeah.
but what is interesting though is like, why that person? You know,
Well,
I'm thinking, is it always just based on physical attraction, or could they possibly just say something that you're just like, ooh, you?
I think we were talking about this on a previous episode when we were going. Oh yeah, it was the one where we were talking about the elements or the ingredients of a successful relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
when we were talking about trust, we were talking about that like quick connection that we can make, not just in a
Yeah.
romantic relationship. And energy came up, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that along with all of the chemical reactions, if you're vibrating on a certain level and they're vibrating on a certain level, and it's like, that
Yeah.
feels good. That feels like a good level for
Yeah.
me. I think that must be going on as well, because like there have definitely been situations in the past when I've been in a room full of people and you just lock eyes with someone and you're like, that's a person that I want to speak to or I want to get to know. And not
Yeah.
like just because you got the horn, but more from a, yeah, also that, but more from a, like there's something that's pulling you together. And it
Mm,
might not actually happen. It might just be one of those looks and you get that
the rush.
connection.
Yeah.
But life happens. You're with a bunch of cock blockers, or you're with a bunch of, or you're with a bunch of people. Like in a work situation, it's not appropriate, so you don't feel the
Yeah.
confidence to make a move, and then you miss that opportunity. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't believe that love at first sight actually exists, but I do believe that there are. In the right circumstances,
Mm,
that it can start that journey towards love.
yeah.
So, yeah, but
Yeah. I'm with you on the energy thing. And I think that lends itself as well to the soulmate situation because I feel like you can meet someone and within a couple of moments, you're just like, this is my kind of person.
yeah,
Like halfway through your first conversation or just a couple of minutes in, you're just like, we can hang out. I can get
yeah,
down with you. And that's not necessarily someone you're like romantically interested in. That be anyone. And you just like, the vibes are vibing, the connection is connecting. But then I feel like again, kind of like love as well, it is very much to do with time served. I think specifically for soulmates, as to be able to have that title, like this is my soulmate, you know?
yeah, yeah,
And I don't feel like there's one of those. I feel like there's many of them. I mean, we've had this conversation like offline many a times. Like, I definitely feel like you are one of mine. I have a couple, blessed to have a couple others, where I'm just like, this person, they've been around, they will be around, they're not going anywhere, whether they like it or not. Um, and just, again, like you said, just because we're just very much like in each other's orbit, you know? And
yeah.
when they're not around, the absence is felt.
Definitely. I think it's definitely a opposites can attract in a soulmate situation as well, because you just complement each other really, really well. So like
Mm,
sometimes the vibe is definitely there, like whether it's a case of a similar interest in something, or you have a similar approach to life or an
yeah,
outlook of life. But then there are things that can be very, very different about two individuals. And yet you can still see that they are just meant to be together,
yeah,
either in a friendship or in a relationship. But I think even with soulmates, there's always an element of work to be had, because
mm-hmm,
you need to be able to elevate and support that person, and not in a I have to do this, in a I absolutely want to celebrate you because you are the
yeah.
greatest thing on earth and
Yeah, it's
deserve
just
to
like
be
a given.
celebrated. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't
absolutely.
require any thought. I'm there because you're there.
Yeah.
You want
even
it,
if,
I want it for you more.
even if that decision or journey means that they have to move out of your orbit for a period of time, or further away from you for a period of time, it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, sad me, like I'm not going to see you. It's like,
I
you
mean, it
definitely
is
have to
because
do
when
that.
you left, it was just like, girl, this
And
house
I,
is closer. Where are you going? So I definitely
not for
was,
this
woe is
price.
me. Yeah, for real. That part. But it's
It's fun.
also just like, it's not like I'm never going to see you again,
Yeah, but
you
also my
know?
gain is your gain, because
I have a
whenever
holiday home. I
definitely.
have a holiday home. That sounds so selfish, but
No, wherever I'm going, like I'm always thinking about, okay, so I need to make this as comfortable as possible for all of the people that I love to come and spend time here. So it's not just my
Yeah.
house ever. It's
You
like,
literally sent that message to us last week.
I know when this place is done,
Yeah.
we're spending
We're
time.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, always.
Love that for
But
us.
yeah, I think
Mm.
um soulmates is such an interesting one because, like you said, I don't feel like there's just one soulmate for every person. I think that there are lots out there. If you have the luck and are blessed to bump into them and to welcome them into your life.
Mm.
But I definitely feel that they're out there for everyone. Like
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a lottery. I think you just have to be in the right place at the right time to meet them and to recognize that they exist in your life.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. I don't believe that the one, that's that kind of like romanticized thinking, I think, which of course movies and media, I always say it's their fault, but they've got a lot to account for. Although I
They
say
really
they,
do.
like it's not people that have come up with these ideas and put them out, I think it's just, I guess maybe it's the way that our brains are wired actually, for like comfort. And that is a comforting thought, right? I mean, who doesn't want to
Mm,
be loved? I guess one of the reasons why we're all on this blue rock in the first place, right? To make connections and to experience one another.
yeah.
I did find something else online as well that said, let me see, because I've written it down somewhere. Where are we? So, selective memory bias. So, if you speak with couples, um, they may have this thing called selective memory bias, where it's like they basically romanticize like the journey to love.
Mm-hmm.
So in their sort of like retelling of the how we met story, they may say things like, and I guess these are things that are depicted in like films and programs as well. Like, when the eyes meet, and everyone else in the room sort of disappears. And when in actuality, they could have had a headache. They might have been sweating. They might have been in a foul mood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just the way that our sort of brains work, we kind of have this almost like this need to kind of make things fit an idea that we already have. So it's just like, oh, if you're falling in love, it looks like this. And my experience matches that because, these certain things happened. But again, I think it's just the way that our brains are wired for comfort and to make ourselves kind of feel happy and at ease and peaceful.
Mm. What does love mean to you? Like, how would you recognize love in yourself? And I mean romantic love.
Oh, God. What does it mean to me? Um, Now you're asking. For me, for me, it feels easy. It feels comforting. It's something that I would say makes me feel stronger about me and like my position. I feel like it's inspiring. I feel like it makes me brave. Um, and it makes me want the person that makes me feel that way. It makes me want to make them feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So very reciprocal. Yeah.
How many times would you say you've been in love?
Girl. Do you know what? I kind of find that hard to answer now because I feel like there's been such a huge gap since the last time I felt anything like that, that now I'm like questioning, but was that really it? You know?
Yeah.
But that I think part of that is justified. Just having done like the work that I've done on myself, I'm able to say, okay, no, that definitely wasn't it. That was, me acting out of wounds, or that was me in a triggered state or something. Um, but then at the time, you couldn't tell me shit about it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when you're in it, it's very real, and it can feel. No, I don't want to poo-poo it. The two times I really felt like I was in love, because at the time, yeah, honestly, it was. I mean, there was a period of time where I feel like I went missing, like nobody saw me. Do you know what I mean? I missed loads of events. I was not hanging out. I don't even remember if like I was even on the phone too tough, because I was just like literally wrapped up with this person all of the
Mm.
time. And I remember actually when I came out of that relationship and sort of almost needing to sort of find myself again. Like I remember talking to a friend about music, and I was just like, shit, I don't even feel like I've been listening to music the way that I used to listen to music before that person. So I was like very much in their world, and I feel like I
Yeah.
forgot me. So I had to. Oh, it was a long process. It wasn't even a long process, because it was less than a year before the next one came. And then that was like another 7 years. Um, but yeah, I definitely forgot about myself that first time around. And what's crazy is that I didn't realize it had happened, you know?
Yeah.
So the next time around, things are, obviously going to be different because I'm much older now, and sort of much more aware of how important it is to still keep you within that love, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's very relatable because at least I've been through that experience as well, where I've come out of a relationship and realized that I gave up willingly,
Yeah.
like gave up a lot of myself to be in the relationship. And I don't mean like, I was coerced into doing lots
Mm,
of things. I actively was like, yeah, sure, let me do this, or I'll go and do that with you, or we'll do this with your friends, and
yeah.
gave up some of my interests
Mm,
over time because I wanted to spend more time with this person and wrap
yeah.
myself in this person. So when you come out of it, I remember one situation where I was just like, I don't actually know what I enjoy
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
because, and I think part of that is also a heartbreak reaction because when you're going through that, nothing feels enjoyable because you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
my life is ending. I will never enjoy love, a life, or a show. I'll
Again.
never laugh. I just, I feel all of this pain. Um,
Yeah.
but I definitely feel like there's an element of being in a relationship where you can very easily give up parts of yourself without realizing it
Yeah.
until, you know, either you come out of it or someone wakes you up. And then you're like, oh, shoot, I really have given away so much of
Mm,
who I am to be here. So the only reason I asked was because of the fact that you were talking about soulmates and this this kind of energy of being in love. And I was thinking how my love has changed since being in my relationship, like the feeling of love when we first got together to the feeling of
mm,
love now has evolved.
yeah.
um and then I
I
was
mean,
thinking
speak
about
more to
other
that.
loves, how it's evolved.
Mm,
um I think there's several things that happen when you are in a relationship for a bit longer. One of the big shifts is moving in together.
yeah.
When you're in each other's space all of the time, there's certain things that kind of happen because I think we joked about this actually on a previous episode about absence makes the heart grow
Mm?
fonder. So you don't have those opportunities or as many opportunities to miss each other,
Yeah.
to get excited about seeing each other because you know they're going to be walking through the door in like 5-10 minutes time. And,
Yeah.
you're kind of, I think routine also gets in the way of that. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm very, when you see all of these shows, all these podcasts, all these couples talking about making sure that you have like date nights
Date
and
night.
stuff,
Yeah.
like actually make an effort to still do things that you used to do when you were dating as opposed to being in a relationship, because you
Yeah.
need you need those events kind of
Yeah.
to keep that excitement going.
The
Otherwise,
love
you can very
alive.
easily fall into
Roommates.
complacency. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I think that is the shift. Um, I mean, I feel like in my current relationship, you had like front row seats to the whole event from meeting to
Yeah.
going on dates and
I will say that was giving movie energy big time. Love it for you.
ridiculous.
Love that I got to see that. That was very, God, that seems like an
Yeah.
age ago now, but at the same time, not. But that
Yeah.
was giving movie. From your whole, it's not for me, I'll never find anybody to, so I'm moving.
But bearing in mind, there was like 6 months
Yeah,
in between
there
those
was, there
times.
was. I cut out a chunk, but yeah, it was a
But
beautiful
yeah,
whirlwind.
it was a whirlwind. And I think but again, I feel, when we're talking about energy and chemistry and so on, I feel like for me, I went from a place of like, okay, this is the last chance saloon. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I have done this to very Charlotte from Sex and the City. Like, I have
Where
been
is
out
he?
here. I have been out here for years. Um, and I was just done. And I'd just been through a situation where I was like, had been questioning my worth and
Yeah.
was on the up from all of those questions and had finally decided this is what I want out of a relationship, and just happened to find someone who I connected with on several
Mm.
different levels. Um, and that was exciting. So there was that excitement part of it of being like, oh, this has potential, you know?
Yeah.
It's
But
not
also,
giving
you were
fuckboy
that
energy.
purposely not trying to like, do
Oh yeah.
the
I was
typical thing.
like, brakes
Breathe.
on.
Yeah, it was very much like, let's breathe. Let's calm down.
I know.
Let's
And the
reel
funny
the
thing
kite
is
in.
because you are like, oh, all of the excitement. I'm just like, no, bitch, we're not there. We're
No,
not there yet.
I
We're
know.
definitely
I did
not
have the
there.
gift of just like, I had to do both things because I was extremely excited, extremely excited. The difference from the previous ones was very apparent. So I was just like, this really could be something. And that was exciting, you know?
Yeah.
But then also, like, the whole reality check part comes in and it's just like, we need time. So,
And we don't want to get hopes up for them to be dashed. I
yeah.
think,
Given
and
the
when you,
last year as
right,
well. So it's just like,
exactly,
let's pace ourselves.
exactly.
But
So I
yeah.
think that is the shift, is like the sheer excitement of going on dates and
Mm.
stuff. So basically, before we started the show and I was taking my show selfies,
Hmm.
as I was taking a selfie, a message popped up from eldest niece saying, oh my God, I'm going to meet him today, which is because she's met a boy.
Oh,
And
I love that. But no, you were just
I,
born. But also,
I had to delete the picture that was taken for that one because my face was a picture.
a
It was
gift in
terror.
itself.
It was absolute. I was like, but that just, and it was all in caps. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's
I
happening.
remember those, do you know, like,
Yeah.
and then before dates, what am I going to wear? The number of pictures
Mm-hmm.
of different outfits that you send your friends. What do you think of this? Is this coming across too slutty? Is this coming across too Sister Mary Clarence? Is this coming across? So all of the things, that excitement of
Yeah, the
the new things.
newness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the big shift of going from the newness to knowing so much about someone. You can predict behavior, or
Yeah.
um just being able to second guess certain situations
Mm.
and managing your own expectations because of that. That is the shift in the level of love. And I think that's the big shift between being, if we're talking about soulmates, being two people in love and two people who are meant to be together, just managing that
Mm.
whole relationship with each other. But you have got to have the little droplets of romance in there, like,
Yeah.
having a bath drawn for you, or in my case, making sure the hot water is on so I can draw my own. Because whatever
Yeah.
energy I've been given off in the day has been screaming she needs a hot bath. Do you know what I mean? It's those things that
Yeah.
really do make a difference.
Yeah. I've seen something about, partners, um, like successful partners are basically constantly in service of one another. Like if you're always thinking about what your partner needs or what would make their day just a little bit easier, then you kind of can't go wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you're always thinking about you and they're always thinking about you, like someone is going to be depleted and will leave,
Yeah.
But it's like if you're
Eventually.
all, yeah, but it's like if you're always looking out for the other person, then you're always covered,
It's a
They
tough
are
one.
and you are, because someone
Yeah.
is always looking out for you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there are lots of people out there who are naturally givers,
Mm,
and quite often they get into relationships with takers
yeah,
and find themselves in a situation where they feel like they're not being loved, but it's different languages. When you
yeah.
know you're with a taker, then you can manage your own expectations of that, because you know that they're not going to be the ones who are, make sure that there's milk in the fridge because it's running low for you, or have your
Mm.
favorite dessert, or why is it always food related that I'm coming these
Because we love a snack.
as I was saying
Snacks love
your
snacks.
favorite desserts, yeah. I'm just like, oh,
That's how we love. No, but sentiment
yeah,
understood. Yeah,
yeah.
just that forethought. Forethought. Yeah. I did also see that so I can't remember who did the survey, where it took place, when it took place, but the findings were basically like 60% of the participants. It was like a huge one though, like thousands of people, and of them, 60% had experienced love at first, or what they felt was love at first sight, which is a really high amount, I think. And it was said that if you've experienced it once, you're likely to experience again. However, if you're someone that always experiences it, it's very indicative of your attachment style. So you're
Mm,
someone that's more than likely with an anxious attachment if you're finding yourself falling in love, not constantly, but, quite often. Because essentially you're sort of like looking for someone to like reduce the anxiousness. So it's just like, oh, this is the person that's going to make everything better, This is my
interesting.
person, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Everything
actually,
kind of goes back to
the attachment
to it.
styles. I
Yeah.
know, because we've done quite a few of these kind of diagnostic things coming through, and I feel I have only ever done them whilst I've been in this relationship. So I my attachment style is actually not that attached at all, maybe probably a bit more detached. No, I feel very secure, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas you having said that, I asked you the question, how many times do you feel like you've been in love? Because I feel like I've been in love a lot of times. I feel like I've been in deep love maybe 3 times. 3 times.
Okay.
But I definitely feel like I have been in love more times than that, like just general. And it's when you were talking about that anxious attachment, that is what that was. Because I know that I have always been seeking someone to take care of me.
Yeah.
So when I felt like there's been a connection, and I'm not like, oh, on a date and then suddenly like, you're the one for me.
Yeah. But that's kind
But
of like the underlining
yeah,
current.
finding a situation, even in like casual situations, there have been a couple of people where I'm like, I would like to take this out of this casual hookup kind of thing we've got going on, situationship we've got going on, to being a full-blown relationship. But in hindsight, never would have made it out of that, just based on the quality of the other participant.
Yeah.
Because I reckon if I'd got into that relationship, I would have been like, ick, and then bounced. And then he would have been like, what's going on? We spent so long trying to get here and now you're out. Yeah, that's exactly it.
It is tricky though, because you need, this is why I kind of agree with the whole, you really need time to, to actually fall in love with somebody, because everyone's dating the representative at the beginning.
Yeah.
You need the time for that comfort to set in where you can be more at ease. I feel like even if you're going in, as your authentic self, there is still a level of performance that's there, because
Yeah,
you're
because
in that.
you don't want to show everything at once,
Yeah.
because people are very sensitive. And if you were to show up as your full-blown authentic self, as you should, but if you were to, a lot of people just wouldn't make it past the first hour. Because it would just
That's
be
crazy.
it's too much for them. Like they're, I was going to say vulnerable and I guess just traumatized self is too much for them to handle. That's why a lot of people are just like, no thanks, because you're showing up as too much for them to handle. It's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah. I want to
It's all
know what
about
that
them.
looks like though, because I mean,
What, showing up as your true self?
yeah, because I just feel like, I don't know, but again, this is like me talking now and how I feel like I show up now. Like I don't
Yeah.
feel like I don't feel like there's really versions of me as such, just because it's not comfortable. So now I feel like I don't know how else I could show up. But then what would be too much? Is it like the conversations that we have? Like, are we going to have, coaching card questions on like date one? I don't
Don't knock
know.
it, because
I actually think it's a
it
brilliant
works.
idea.
Well, maybe not on date one. I think like date one is very much like you're
Let's
just,
hang out.
yeah, let's just see what the vibes
Yeah.
are. And then, but I absolutely would say the quality of the relationship that I have now is down to the quality of the conversations that we had in those first few weeks. And I
Yeah.
think that's why I could say at 8 weeks in, I genuinely love this person because I knew that person.
Yeah.
Not 100%. I'm never going to know him 100%. I don't know
Yeah.
myself
Even today.
100%. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
this
no,
morning I
it's
woke
true.
up, I'm like, who's this bitch?
Facts. Do I like
Like,
me today?
I'd never ask that question because I don't want to know the answer. But it
Yeah.
is definitely down to the quality of those conversations that
Yeah.
you have early doors. If you're still like, so, I noticed you're wearing a lot of blue. I'm guessing that's your favorite color. Boo! Boo!
Ick, big ick. Who had, anyway, let's not go down that road. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like, yeah, the coaching cards, I feel like it's actually a brilliant idea at the beginning because you really get an insight into into the character of the person. Otherwise, you're kind of just like milling along together until stuff happens,
Yeah,
and then you get to see that person.
the
Whereas,
reactions.
yeah, exactly. Whereas if you have like these questions that kind of bring up hypotheticals, I feel like it kind of gives you a good enough, you'd get a good enough amount of information to be like, okay, you're that type,
Mm-hmm.
you're that kind.
Yeah,
That aligns with
definitely.
me. Not too sure about that. Or I can accept that, you
Yeah.
know?
And that's a really big point, I think, to know that you're not going to be able to have everything that ticks all of your like expectation list, is to be
Yeah.
like, that's not quite how I would have approached it, but actually I'm open to that kind of reaction.
Mm,
But you have to be, it takes a level of self-awareness to be able to know if it's an ick factor or if it and a genuine ick, not just like a
yeah.
yeah,
A surface, superficial. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like come on girl, you are definitely shallow, or that is a deal breaker
Yeah.
scenario, or approach, or
It's
thinking.
like a value,
Yeah,
not contradiction, conflict.
conflict,
Yeah.
definitely. um yeah, time. It's definitely time. Time with. So I'm just going to quickly go to Love is Blind, because
I
I
wish
think
you'd have
that you
watched this
were
season as a
saying
side note, but ooh,
no.
we would have had a time.
American,
But
I
no,
can't do it. I just can't. It's too
this one
much. It's
you'd have
just
been
it's
okay.
it's just absolute, like, I just feel like it's just entertainment purposes. I don't.
Mm,
And this isn't a blanket kind of thing to all Americans, but there are a high proportion of them that don't feel like real people.
yeah.
And I
It's very much
cannot
for
get
like the come
down.
up afterwards.
I
Yeah.
cannot. Like, you're not here for genuine reasons. If you're there for genuine reasons, then I'm down to watch your journey, because I know that you're going to be learning from it. But most of them are just there to get a paycheck at the end of it, and I cannot deal. So I don't put myself through that. But when we were doing the whole review watching of Love is Blind UK, something that you mentioned was about the number of hours that they spend in the pods.
Mm.
So that exposure to someone and having those conversations, and like, if you did have cards, I don't know, do they have cards, or do they just come up with their own
I
questions?
don't think so. I think yeah, they come up with their own stuff.
So yeah, so
That
like
would be a
putting
good.
yourself through um hypothetical situations, like, of dealing with a death in the family, or
Mm,
the reaction. Because I remember the UK one, there were a couple of people who had parents or grandparents who had passed. Or what was that girl who I just could not, she was flirting with the guy and Sam in the bar, but she was
oh,
married.
Catherine.
That's it, Catherine. Because
Yeah.
she was adopted, and
Yeah.
her dealing with that adoption, like those kind of scenarios are real life scenarios. How do you support your partner through that
Mm,
experience, or their feelings of that experience? That shit can tell you so much.
yeah.
Just the reaction of, oh, like, I was adopted and I feel this way about it. They're like, oh,
I mean,
where's
yeah,
the
you'd want a
depth?
little bit more than that.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
Nah,
But then
it does not.
it depends on I guess it depends on that person as well, because if you go too far with it, then you don't feel like a sympathy case. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So,
But that is who you are. So if that's how you truly feel about it, and you're not getting any reaction, or, you know, you
yeah.
have, if that's truly who you are as a person, and that shapes how you react to situations, then the person for you is going to be able to support you through that experience. And I feel like those are the kind of things that a lot of us don't touch on when we're dating. We just do the surface stuff until we're like 2 years in and
Yeah.
something comes up and you're like, ugh, I don't like who you are as a person. I've wasted 2 years. Do you know what I
So
mean?
this is something that is called the halo effect, where because we're so like enamored by this person and they tick a lot of, well, at the beginning, I guess, especially a lot of boxes, we kind of, it's like you kind of basically you put them on this pedestal.
Yeah.
You just see more of the positives or you enhance them in your mind, basically, that you can't see the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Or you
the
just
brain has a lot.
completely turn a blind eye to it. Like you see it, but you're just like, oh no,
Red flag
that's
wear.
yeah,
It's
Neo.
more fuchsia,
Yeah.
not quite red.
Giving plum. Yeah. That's a lot of pressure on the
Nuts.
other person, you know. If they recognize that they've been put up on a pedestal, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but then whoever's doing the nearly said pedestaling. I'm not going to make up any words today. Who, whoever is putting the other on a pedestal has work to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a setup. You can't do that to people.
I think I can hold my hand up and say I have done that in a relationship.
Standard. Pre-work mo, absolutely. Had people on a pedestal. And it's just like, why can't you see me from up there? Because they are trash. That's harsh. That's not the case. But it's a setup, again, people are human. They're going to do stuff. They're going to disappoint you. Not always on purpose, but just through
No.
their own humanness. And depending where you are, you're either going to receive that as like an attack or rejection when typically it's nothing to do with that at all. Just the other person going through their own experiences, maybe dealing with stuff that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
But only time, work, I think age as well. Well, should we say age? No, because
Mm,
there's people out there that are good and grown that are not acting like it.
yeah.
So
Because they
self-awareness.
haven't done the work, because they haven't done it
Yeah.
into themselves. And do you know what? I know we talk about having done work and stuff, but that is a choice of
Mm,
not feeling satisfied with your own personal responses to life situations and wanting to be a better version of yourself. There are people who haven't gone through that experience because they don't recognize that they need to go through that experience, and that's their personal choice.
mm.
That's their personal choice. I just don't want to push it out, being like, everyone needs to be doing the work. You do, but it
In your
needs
own
to be
time when you're
it
ready.
needs to be your own decision to do that. No one can force it on you at all.
Yeah, otherwise you're not really doing it.
No, it's
It's
surface, isn't it?
performative. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Going through it. Even if you started that journey, I feel like there would be people who would start it on a performative basis and
And get caught
could,
up.
yeah, and
Yeah.
can recognize and be like, oh, that's interesting. I think I think that's how my journey started.
Mm.
Not necessarily performative, but I recognized that I needed to do work on myself because I didn't like how I felt about life or myself in general, but going through it, all of these things were like, damn. Okay,
Yeah.
learned a lesson. Oh my God, learned a lesson. I need to work here. I need to do stuff
Yeah.
here. And it does can feel overwhelming, like just being like, oh my God, I need to do a hell of a lot on this person that
Yeah.
I thought I had created. And I've been working with all of the wrong ingredients, but now I have the right
Because
ingredients.
sometimes you don't even realize that you've created a thing. You're just out here do,
Yeah.
twirling through the hills. And to find out that it's not I don't want to say not real, but I guess, yeah, it's not really the real you, or these behaviors aren't serving you. To really see yourself is scary. It's not nice. You know, it can be a shock as well, because no one's out here really intentionally trying to hurt people or, you know, anything like that. And sometimes you're not even hurting people, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
It's not intentional, but it's just a lot of the times we're just acting off emotions and wounds. And so when you do that work and you find out why that's happening, who's potentially responsible for that, it's scary stuff. You know, and as you said, can be very overwhelming. And, you know, the urge to like run away from that, and especially as we have so many resources to help us do that for a very long time, as you said, you have to really want to change. You have to really want to do better. But I guess just to know that it is a lifelong learning and unlearning, and to not try and do it all at once. Only way, really.
Yeah.
I love that
It's
we
worth
always
it.
end up at this spot.
I know, because
let's
that's
start talking about cookies again with the food reference, and we'll end up here about doing the work.
Well, because you could just use it as a metaphor of like the different styles of cookies, using different ingredients to get a better result. Yeah. I think it's because it's our experience, it's our life, it's what we're going through, and even the pitfalls and the walls that we hit when we're on the journey.
You
because
mean like
it's happening.
When the cookie crumbles?
Yeah.
It was right there. I had
to.
Joke. Sorry.
So bad. So bad.
My bad. I hope you've not forgotten what you were saying. That was a necessary derail. Go on.
No, I was just saying, like, we're living it live on this podcast. Like, every time we've hit a wall or we find ourselves in a bit of a slump, when we find ourselves on a bit of a high, it's the references come out because we are literally living it and having to remind ourselves of all of the good intentions that we have. And it's a struggle to do all of those things.
Yeah.
Because of all of the escapes and distractions that are like, this is much more fun. Come over here. This is where the good stuff happens. And you're like, I need to put you aside because I actually have to focus on that. And they're like, but do you really think you need it? Pipe down, distractions.
I know. Oh, God.
It's tough.
Well, so all in all, love at first sight is a chemical reaction. It's just dopamine and oxytocin. And then it's up to you to decide. Maybe it's not even always your decision, actually. As you said, given the circumstance, you may not get a chance to act on it, but that's essentially what's happening. And then we romanticize it all to this beautiful thing because it sounds and feels nice. And so do with it what you want.
Exactly. I think that's it. It's like, we're not trying to poo-poo that it's chemicals, because it feels real in the moment. So,
but it is very real.
Yeah. Well, it is real in the moment because of the chemicals.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but it's how we paint that picture. I know.
It feels good. It feels good in the moment. It's kind of like when you're like tipsy from something. It feels great in the moment. And then afterwards you're like, why do I feel like I've got such a bad hangover? Basically, love is a hangover, or love is a experience. Well,
I can hear all of these songs now. Love is a roller coaster, Love Hangover. Who sings Love Hangover? Is that Diana Ross or
I don't know,
Donna Summer? Anyway, yeah, all of the things you just said.
I don't know what I said. I think I was just going on a literal roller coaster in my mind of all of these different things. And I was like, I don't know when the ride stops, but get me on it.
Right. Do you have anything for the circus?
I came across this story. I don't know, is it an Am I the Arsehole? I don't know. But basically, it was like a wild confession thing, right? And it was this guy setting the scene. So he was saying how he um he kind of like, done all of the cleaning in the apartment before his partner came home, had bought these artificial rose petals and had like laid them all out, leading towards the bedroom and stuff. So when his
Yeah.
wife got home, he put a blindfold on her and like, or not blindfold, but like put his hands over her eyes and led her towards the bedroom. And when they got to the bedroom, his ex-girlfriend was lying naked with a blindfold on on the bed, right? And so his partner then his wife went back into the kitchen and picked up a frying pan, and he was like, and she beat me black and blue. And the ex, still blindfolded, just got up and ran out the house.
Oh my God. Wait, how did this even happen?
I don't know. It was described exactly like that. It was just like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this nice thing. I don't know if it was an anniversary. I can't remember. But yeah, that's the only thing that I came across. And I'm just like, why would you think that would be like literally it was just like, let's do something nasty. Like,
Oh my God. So
that's a prime example of you looking out for you and not thinking about your the other person.
not even like, let's try this new toy, or how about we wear this? You actually put a whole other person in here without some sort of discussion. A frying pan is very old school there.
Isn't it? He actually said
I love it.
skillet, not a frying
So,
pan. So
American.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God. That's giving like death, because them things are usually like cast iron.
I
It's a wrap for
know.
you.
I just
That's
even would. I wouldn't
hilarious.
even been bothered. I would have just literally just left. Like, what? There's effort in having to go and beat someone up. I would just be like, nah.
Yeah, that part. I'm not going to jail for anybody. I mean, well, not that situation.
In my mind, I absolutely would. In my mind, I've stabbed you 3 times, like neck.
Stop it. Did you say neck?
I
Wow,
need
we're going for
to
the
stop
main
watching.
vein.
I need to stop watching these shows, I need some just like joy and niceness in my life.
Come on over. Come on over. The comedy wheel. Honestly, it's where you gotta be.
There's too much death in my in my
Oh my
viewing.
God.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
But
would
yeah,
you
that was it.
actually do though? I'm not beating anybody. That's crazy.
Well, do you know
But I'm just
what's
thinking, if that legit happened, I would just
the
like,
insane thing is that you are like super hyped, right? You get home from work, the whole place is smelling fresh, things are clean. Like you're like,
yeah.
oh my God, all of the
Yeah.
things that I have been moaning about for weeks have
Yeah.
happened. From that moment, honestly, for me, from that moment, I'm like, he's gonna get it.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes,
Whatever the
sure.
question is, the answer is yes. Even if I don't like the question, the answer is yes. Just from this alone. And then there's rose petals. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I think he actually cooked her dinner as well. So before he led her to the bedroom, it was like, So actually
The
with
pot.
that
Are
bit
you
in
thinking how long
mind,
was she there?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was just gonna say. So homegirl's just been chilling.
And cold, literally chilled because she's naked. Do you know what I mean? Oh,
Nah, it's a no. It's a no from me forever. I mean, are
yeah.
you ending the relationship? Yeah, I don't know, maybe, because how is it that you've been able to get your ex-girlfriend here? That's crazy. So you two are like still in conversation. Yeah, maybe you both have to go. I mean, she has to go, obviously, but
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe there's therapy in mind. I think like I
like, how much
think
do I really love you?
the evolved version of me would be, I actually have to work at this. I can't just discard it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
I
man, I
put
love a
time and
throwaway.
effort.
Yeah.
Put time into this. I really should look at whether or not it's salvageable. Was it a just complete lapse in judgment
Judgment.
of
That's a huge
this
misfire.
this I know, isn't it? But like, everyone deserves an opportunity to learn from their mistakes and blah 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 blah. If you don't tell them what they've did wrong, how are they going to know? I mean, like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like, how could you not know that this was wrong?
I,
But
I was just gonna say, so this means you don't know me
we are
then.
not, yeah, we are not the same. We are not the same. Everyone is different. They have different views and perspectives on things. I have to give them at least a chance. But yeah, I would be sitting in that therapy session just like,
Convince
isn't
me.
it some bullshit? Um,
Oh
yeah, I don't
God.
know. They must
No.
have had some sort of like coffee catch up. Like, how would you respond if an ex of yours approached you and was like, "Hey girl, I know it's been a while, but I've always, appreciated you and everything that you have to give, and I'm thinking of spicing things up in my current marriage, and and part of that spice is you." Just
Like in the is. Yeah, no, thanks, but no thanks. Like,
you you have to kind of be that kind of girl, right? That's into that kind of stuff in
yeah,
order for them to even, I suppose, approach you.
yeah. I feel like if you're asking me, then we've played that game before.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's no exes are going to be asking me that. I'm just not. One, I'm greedy. Two, no.
That
Don't
I
share. I don't share.
it does. I am so intrigued by the idea of how, I don't know, how someone can watch this scene of someone that you love
Yeah.
being physically intimate, not even physically, just even if it was like I was watching, you know, laughing and giggling across the room, I would be raging.
Yeah, I wouldn't be laughing and giggling, that's for damn sure. But I just know me and like where my insecurity levels are, I cannot see that. Like, I can't. It's not for me. Like,
Mm-mm.
have fun. If I was more, I mean, because it really is just like a poke at my insecurity. I wonder if like my security level with myself was through the roof, if I'd feel differently. You know
Mm.
what I mean? If I was just like, I am that, I don't know.
I
Yeah, I
reckon if I
wonder.
was I reckon if I was single, I'd be less attached. Like if it was just like, you know,
Mm.
one of those buddies situations. And if they had approached me, and I'm not talking now, I'm talking when I was young and I had like tight body skin and, everything was up here and not down there. Do you know what I mean?
Stop
And
it.
I think if I was
Listen,
approached
there are
then,
people that are like decades older than us
still
doing
doing a
these
thing. I
very same
know.
things. Yeah.
I know.
And
But
good
I
luck
reckon that,
to
they've
them.
been
Have a
doing
ball.
them for a while. I feel like
Yeah.
that's been something that's been part of their like sexual experience for
Yeah.
many a
Decades.
year. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
they've already built up that kind of like resilience to not, is it judgment? Maybe that's insecurities coming out that I'd be judged.
I mean, yeah, because again, it's you at like your most vulnerable state, right? But then I guess it always also depends on what your view on sex is. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Is it only something that you can really experience if you're super in love and super committed to this person? Or is it just like this fun activity that, whoever, whenever, however?
Yeah.
For me, I kind of just feel like you're opening like Pandora's box as well. Like it might start off as all fun and
Literally.
games. But
Delayed, but it got there eventually.
yeah, I just feel like yeah, it, I mean, we've heard the stories.
Yeah.
You know, it starts off as like a one-off thing, and then one person's not into it anymore, but the other wants to keep going, and
Yeah.
so, I don't know. It's got to
I mean,
suit both. It doesn't suit me, so.
that's what I've never seen it, but I've seen clips, as you do when you're scrolling on the internet, of that show Three in a Bed, and there's always, have you not
No, I've
seen
not
it? It's a
seen
Channel
that.
4. Channel 4 always has
Of
that kind of
course, it is
stuff.
Channel 4.
But I think they had a show, and it's just people who are interested in getting into that. Either one party or both parties are interested in trying it out, and you end up at like a lodge with singles who are open to being the third person,
Yeah.
and they mingle, drinks, activities. Some will go off to a room and actually partake, others might not. They'll think about it or talk about it, and then the repercussions afterwards. I remember seeing a clip, and the guy was very, very into wanting to have a threesome with like his partner and another girl, and he didn't like how much attention his girlfriend and this extra girl were giving each other.
Ah. Yeah, so that was more for him than this will bring us closer together.
So this is sort of the things like you have to consider
I bet
how
that same guy definitely wouldn't do that if it was another guy there. He's
they
definitely
very rarely
giving,
do. They
yeah.
very rarely do.
Mm,
It's a fantasy situation. And
yeah.
even if another guy was on the scene, it's like, don't touch me.
No eye contact.
It's a one at a time kind of scenario. And if it is two at the same time, do not look in my direction and make sure your skin does not touch my skin. Do you know what I mean? No
The
homo
swords
about
will
this.
not cross.
So yeah.
Jokes.
Anyway, how did
Okay.
we get out? Clearly mean the direction.
It's
Anyway,
fine.
so that's all that I found on the internet this week.
That's enough. Do you know what? Let's wrap this here. You okay to wrap this here, or do you have any final thoughts
No
on
final
today's
thoughts.
discussion?
Mm-mm.
We just about got that one out. Yeah. All right then, folks. We're calling it a day. Thank you for sticking it out with us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you're listening. We hope you enjoyed what we had to say. Let us know in the comments if you agreed with anything, if you disagreed, if you have any additional thoughts that we may have missed. Let us know.
Yeah. Have you experienced love at first sight or witnessed love at first sight? What did that look like?
I have. Amy's just like, ooh.
Not me, girl.
Just a reminder to do all of the things. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, engage. This is out of order now from the self thing, but whatever. And follow and forward to a friend, because sharing is caring. I've been Monique B. She's been Amy G. We out. Peace.
That was abrupt.
I can feel myself rambling now. I'm just like, cut. I said the self thing in the wrong order. It's time to go.
Listen, it all comes out, so it's fine.
Jesus. 51 episodes and still stumbling.